Welcome back. In this video, we will be talking about the specific details of a study, datasets, tasks, and reports. And to demonstrate the specifics of each of these components of a study, we will upload or rather import a completed study and use that as an example. This study is something that users will be reviewing in a later time when the single dose NCA workflow is covered. So let us go ahead and import a new study. Import. I'm going to click on open. And here you will see that this is a single dose study completed. So go ahead and open the study. And now you will see three components: datasets, tasks, and reports, all clickable, which means that at least a dataset has been uploaded and at least a task has been run. So let us take a look at the datasets. We covered this briefly in the previous session where we talked about the first thing that you will see for a dataset is its name, the version, and the task in which it is being used. In this case, it is being used in the SDNCA task, right? So you see IV single dose study data is being used in here, which is this task, and this task is also being listed in here. Okay, and then it gives you when it was last updated. Now, the other thing that you can do with this with the data set is the ability, if you hover over this last updated section, you will get 6 different actions that you can perform. The first action is transformation. As you can see, you can transform the data, and I'll go into the details. You can copy the data, you can view the data in a different tab in the browser, you can download the dataset, you can edit the dataset, or you can delete the dataset. So let us go ahead and talk about one thing at a time. The first thing and the most obvious thing for us to see is, okay, I've uploaded a dataset. How do you visualize the data? So you can click on the visual view data, and when you click on view data, it opens up in a new tab, and this tab is where it gives you the name of the dataset, the dataset type, and the subject data that it's involved in. Okay, and basically some metadata, and then here it's going to give you the number of rows and number of columns associated with this particular dataset. There can be no changes made in this particular data page. This page, however, can be put onto a different screen so that a view of the data set is always available to you. The next is copy a data set. And the next element that I wanted to show you is edit a data set. Editing a data set is essentially, if you click on edit, it brings you back to what is called as a file upload box. So this is the same box that you will see on how to upload a file. So you can choose to replace the original dataset, and there are certain features of the upload that you can change. Or if you don't want to change the dataset, you can cancel it. The most common use case of editing a dataset is, let us say you have a data cut 1 from the month of September, but then you have a data cut 2 that is coming in the month of October. You can click on edit and you can replace the original file, right? But the workflow to replace and not lose track of the original work can be will be talked about in a different video. The third is download. You can download the file as a CSV format, an arrow format, or an XPT format. All three formats are possible, and this will download the file locally to your computer. Then copy. We'll cover copy towards the end because I first wanted to talk about transformations. Transformations of dataset is a unique feature of PumasCP that provides a powerful and flexible interface to do any kind of data transformation that you prefer in your workflow. So this is a transformation window, and details of this transformation will be covered, or every single detail of this transformation will be covered in a series of videos that we will be coming up with. I'm going to, for the purpose of this video demonstration, do a very simple transformation where I'm going to rename a particular column. For example, let us say I rename the time column from lowercase or the CP column from CP to something else. So let us say I rename and I choose CP, and I'll say rename CP to Kong, for example, right? And I'm doing this renaming, and this renaming happens in real time. I click on done, and you will see that there is a copy of this data which is called as derived, that is formed here. I can choose to edit. When I edit a derived data set, so notice the difference between editing a derived dataset versus editing an original dataset. An original dataset, when you click on edit, allows you to replace the original file from the source of where it was uploaded. Whereas if you edit a derived file, a file that is derived from the original version, if I click on edit, you go back into the transformation. So for example, I can call this as, for example, underscore v2 and click on done. It is renamed as underscore v2. And you can see it is not used in any task because the original dataset was used in this task, but not this one. Okay. So this is a simple transformation. I'm not going to go into the details of all of these in this video because they will be covered subsequently in a series of videos. The last and the most important one is copy. Copying a dataset can happen at two different places. The first is in the original level. So let us go ahead and copy the original. So I click on copy, and it says will be copied to this one. So I'm going to call this as copy 1. I'm going to click on confirm. So when you copy an original dataset, you will see that the downstream actions of any transformations that were performed are also carried forward, right? So this is copy 1. This was the original one. So it copied the original, and it also brought about the child derived transformation, keeping intact the transformation steps. So to confirm that, I can click on edit, and you will see that the transformation has been retained in here. The advantage of this is, let us say I've done a dataset transformation for my September data cut, right? All I have to do is I copy this original series of transformations, and when a copy is made, now I can go back to this original, the copy of the original, click on edit, and now I can replace it with the October data cut. When I replace it, as long as the column names are the same, then the result, this dataset is automatically updated. So the entire action of copying an original dataset allows you to copy the downstream transformation steps and also results in giving you the derived data sets of the original transformation. Then lastly, if you want to copy the transformed data set, if I click on copy and transformed C1 and I click on confirm, you will get both versions together, right? So this one, you'll get both these versions together. So there is no difference between copying an original and a derived, because the derived is linked to the original. So just wanted to showcase that while the original and derived both have the copy button, both will give you and result in copying the entire workflow of data transformation from the original dataset to the point of the derived dataset. So these are the different options here. And the last option obviously is the delete button. So I can choose to delete this, or I can say I can select the whole thing and I can choose to remove it, right? I can confirm that I can remove this entire thing, right? And it says it cannot delete it because it has a transformation version because it is used by one derived dataset. So rather, I first delete the derived dataset and then only I can remove the original dataset, right? So if you are trying to delete a derived dataset, if you're trying to delete an original dataset, the first request is to delete the derived dataset and then only derive the original. So I hope that gives an overview of the datasets component of a particular study. We will be talking in detail about how to upload a dataset next so that you can understand the different file types and all the associated elements that go along with it, right? So in the next video, we will be covering about how to upload a dataset in a particular study. Thank you for listening.